Well, what is up, guys? How are you? How are you? What is up? What is up? I don't want to get into drama that's going on. There's drama every day on Twitter and stuff with trans issues and, people suing schools for just having rainbow posters. Keffel's getting raided, which I don't know too much about her. I don't usually like people's style like her. Like she has kind of a style that I don't really like using the F slur, and she likes to say it because she's like, "Oh, I can say the F slur on YouTube." I'm like, "Fuck." And yeah, like obviously using the thumbnail, it was slurs used against her, but honestly for a thumbnail, you don't want to do that. Like you just don't. Um and I don't know. It's just also like, trying to get people to make homebrew hormones. That's very dangerous and can get people killed. Not whether it's because some people might it might be illegal in their country, and you could get them into a lot more trouble than if they just tried to escape the country. I think you'd be better off trying to get people out of the country. I think that would be a better goal than trying to get people to illegally make their own hormones. I don't really know too much about her, so I don't really like have too strong of an opinion about her. Maybe I'm wrong about her. I don't know. But honestly, what happened was wrong. People mass reporting her, and this happens to streamers all the time. It's really fucked up. Sadly, it comes with the territory. But then, trans creators are, disproportionately targeted. And just like it's just really fucked up. Uh, Ironically, people, are angry about Destiny, and it's like, well, I mean, they do that to him, so it's like, it's not like he's the one doing this. Like Keffels was angry about Destiny. I'm like, really? Like, Destiny? Like, he's like just a political commentator who's hated by a lot of people, including the trans community, despite, educating people about trans issues and, offering a narrative that's counter to the rhetoric that the hateful anti-trans people will give. And try to convert people to reality instead of allowing the propaganda people to have their way, and radicalize people. But you know what? The world's a fucked up place. Fucking hate it. Fucking hate how being trans and living my truth and being happy comes at the cost of basically giving up all my rights. Um, Despite being despite not being a criminal, and despite, like, not, I don't know, it's just really fucked up. It's basically like the worst thing you can do to your reputation is just be trans. It's really fucked up. People accuse us of being, child predators. People accuse us of like being groomers and whatever. And obviously, reasonable people understand that the rhetoric is definitely against us, but there's a lot of people who just they just like kind of believe whatever they hear. And it's just, these people are insane. These people are trying to basically kill us, and it's kind of fucked up. But there's some drama and it makes me angry, but I don't want to make my whole entire platform about being angry. As much as, like, all these people fighting the good fight and whatever, I try to, like, educate people, but I don't like to participate in that political sphere. In fact, the other day I was on No Comment Chick. I was on her stream. And I just didn't like the way they talked. I didn't like the attitude. I don't like that. Okay, like, and it's prevalent among the trans community, especially trans Twitter and the trans political community, and I don't want to be a part of that. I'm an individual. I have my own values and my own beliefs. I don't consider myself a label. Like people say, oh, I'm a, like they have some kind of political label for whatever they are, and it's like, I don't care. Okay, like, I don't live my entire life based on a label. Okay, like, I don't understand people who get into politics. They get overly drama centered and overly hyperbolic, overly angry, and it's like, come on, like, like, what are you really trying to accomplish? And I don't know. Maybe they think it's effective. Maybe it is. I don't know. I just don't want to be a part of that. I'm just gonna write my books, which is kind of where I want to, kind of segue into. is I really want to get organized. I want to get all my hours of the day organized. Because I'm doing stuff that I need to do, obviously, like stuff I need to do with my doctors and stuff, but that leaves a lot of time. And I would like to be able to make something. And I have a lot of stuff I want to make. I have books I want to write, both fiction and nonfiction. I have articles I want to write. I have YouTube videos and essays that I want to make. I want to make memes. I want to make TikToks. I want to write music. There's all these things I want to do, and I can do them. I just need to learn how to focus my time. Um, because I'm not a beginner at any of these things. Like, it's one thing if I was just learning something new, but I need to learn something new, really, which is time management. And that's been like a bane of my existence for a very long time, is just trying to manage my time. And I might be able to do it for like concentrated periods of time, and then I kind of just fall off. And it's really frustrating. Um and in order to grow as a content creator, you have to actually make content. And yeah, I do have some people in here who come into my chat and say that I'm actually like really like have a lot of potential and all that, but potential is nothing if you don't actually use it. And I feel like there's a lot of work I need to do, and I feel like I barely even scratched the surface. I barely even started. It's like my whole, like, the past 3 years I've been streaming, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. And that's really sad to me because I've been trying so hard, but I just can't seem to get off the ground. So I really want to kind of spend today, spend like a few hours, I guess, like really trying to get things organized mentally. But I don't really know where to start. That's the thing, is in my head, it's everything's just floating around, and it's like I like have this idea of sitting down and like doing the work, and like getting it done. But what am I gonna get done? Like I don't know what to do. I know that I want to do it, but I don't know how. Like, I don't know how to make it happen. I don't even know what I'm trying to make. See, it's like usually artists will be like, I have an image in my head, and I do. I have a first draft of a novel that I've been reworking from the ground up, but I don't know how to actually like figure out like what to write. And it's like, I know what I need to write, but like I don't know how to make it happen. And it's like I usually just sit down and start writing, but like that's what I did for the first draft, and it kind of just went all over the place. And I've been wanting to like organize my thoughts and organize my ideas, and that's something I need. That's obviously something off stream. Um, so I want to use my stream time to help organize my off stream time, and kind of use my stream as kind of like a way to to touch base with myself and with whoever my audience is. Because it's like I can use it as a workspace to kind of like organize the rest of my day, and stuff like that. Make a list. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're going to be doing today. I got my notepad, or I got like notes out. I got notepad. I got my my handwritten note stuff ready to go. And really literally just started the stream, so it's it's just stuff. Um okay. Ah, so I think the one that I need to most work on, the one that'll help me grow the most as a content creator, is my blog articles. Because I have a lot of things to say, but I can't seem to focus it down into like a focused article. I've done 2 articles. One of them was just me like writing something just because I was like, if I load it up. And I can get the music going so it's not so awkward. Because I'm not making content right now. I'm just, yeah, I'm just kind of getting things organized right now. Maybe we'll make some TikToks later. But I mean, that's kind of another to-do list thing. Oh, I was going to load up my blog. RebeccaLauren.com. Short fiction, journals, and essays. I haven't even written any short fiction in a while. But you know, the first one I published was just like, why not publish anyway? Because I was like having a hard time figuring out what to write, and so I just wrote about how I should just take the opportunity. I haven't used my I haven't converted to a standing desk position for a while. I want to do a lot more handwriting again, and write my journal again, my private journal. You know, like basically just like kind of setting like proof of concept, or you know, it did get like liked by like 8 different bloggers, so that's kind of cool. You know, this one, I mean, I don't know how well I'm gonna have to actually produce content. Like, that's really the way to grow, you know, like I can't just make one article, you know, unless something, you know, maybe something will blow up, you know, that might happen. I can't really control that. But like, for the most part, I just have to keep writing articles about the topics that are important to me. And these are short articles. These are basically like I haven't even gotten to the point where I'm actually doing any meaningful edits to my articles. These are basically just proofread first drafts, which proofreading is literally just like making sure it's not typoed or anything. That's not what editing is. And I just kind of like write the kind of stuff that I usually tweet about or write on Discord, but I would put it on my blog. And I think that's a good starting point, because I already do that. Like, I already write paragraphs. You know, I already do stuff like that, like on Discord sometimes, and like on Twitter. I may as well focus that into a document so that I can publish them. But I need to do more of that. Because this, honestly, I think out of everything that I do, besides my my other content, is the most likely to grow my brand. Because I write a lot, and I just need to focus it. And I don't really know how to focus it. That's kind of the problem. And so, like, as we switch over to note-taking here, I think challenges, you know, I can work out like goals and challenges. And if I talk about my goals of blog articles, capture my natural tendency to have a strong opinion focus my thoughts, hands to keyboard. I don't know why, for some reason I feel like I have to be perfect. Yeah, and so some of the challenges are just you know, I'm a perfectionist. I feel like I'm not good enough. It's just like, I feel like no matter what I do, it's not good enough, because I see other people's work, and I know comparing myself to others, It's never good, unless it's like I'm trying to see what they did right, and then like trying to like, you know, put it to work. But I'm doing the negative thing, where I'm looking at others and I'm like thinking like, oh, you know, I'm never gonna be like them. Like, these people are writing books, you know, they're like, you know, they have very strong work ethics. You know, they write every single day. They're constantly publishing things, and you know, this isn't even about like how it's received. Reality. I guess reality. Define my success. Success definitions. So I'll define success in this area as consistently finishing things. Consistently finishing things. Because that's the important part. Like, that's the most important part I need to do. Because a lot of times I get started on something and it really looks great, but I don't really consistently finish it. I just kind of like, I'm like, oh, this isn't that great, and I'm like, I stop trying to finish it. Going back to edit, to actually edit, because that's a problem, where a lot of the times I just proofread it. I don't actually, I don't actually end up, I don't actually end up finishing it or proofreading it. I kind of just, I kind of end up just like proofreading it. I don't actually end up like proofreading, like, you know, edit has 3 types, and the most important one is copy editing, or not copy editing, like structural edits, or yeah, copy edit. And the other one is line edit. Watched a good video by a professional editor about this a while back. Back when I was doing NaNoWriMo, or after NaNoWriMo, but when I started really focusing, in 2014, I finished NaNoWriMo, and I finished like half of my first draft to my novel, Evenstar. And then over the next couple of years, I kind of ended up finishing the rest of the half of it, but it was such a mess. Basically, I started, this year, I started writing a second draft from the ground up, knowing, like, taking what I learned from the first one and discarding a lot of the concepts and keeping the core concepts of the characters. But I didn't really know how to, like, bring the scenes together. Like, I didn't know how to, like, structure, like, what exactly I need to do. Like, and that's kind of the issue. And that's kind of where copy editing comes in. Copy edit is like how to actually, like, big picture change the story. Like, hey, like, maybe this scene needs to come out, or maybe like you need to focus more on this character and maybe completely remove an entire character, etc., etc. Line editing is where you're is where you're going, like, you know, kind of polishing it, making it sound, like, making every single sentence and every single paragraph, like, sound nice. And then proofreading is like the last step, and it's like, it's important, obviously, before you send it off to a publisher, or an editor, or an agent. Proofreading is just like crossing T's, and dotting the I's and J's. Dotting I's, J's. you know, punctuation, you know, that's just, it's, and, you know, like, and, you know, maybe it's like somewhat involved with the polishing, because the polishing is where you're going to fix a lot of that. And then proofread is just like the final thing you do to make sure everything's good. Most people will think that editing is like this. They kind of get it backwards. They think proofreading is editing, and that's not what it is. And really, editing should be focused on big picture first and foremost. And I need to do more of that, because usually what I end up doing is I end up focusing too much on these two, because I'm just like, I guess it's laziness. Maybe reasons why I fail. So like, I'll finish a draft and just want to be done with it, and that's a problem. Because I need to be able to actually go back and continually like chip away at it, and kind of like, you know, just kind of create it as a part, like put it into my routine, like my daily routine. I should wake up and do my morning routine, and you know, I've listened to a bunch of writers talk about this, you know, where they kind of everybody has their own routine that works for them. And you know, I've kind of found a few things that help me get into like, you know, like I do a bunch of things before I start my stream. For example, usually my stream, like right now, this is what I wouldn't always be streaming. Like this can be the time that I would use to work on my writing off stream. But I kind of treat it the same. Like this is my workspace. Like this is where I'm working. This is the time I used to work. But what I'll do first, so like possible solutions, to you know, possible solutions is setting a strict time window where I specifically work on a task. So it's like I need to set, like I need to be like I need to be strategic. I need to be very specific. I need to not get distracted. It's like I get distracted. I get distracted by technical things, or axe polishing, or axe grind, or not, yeah, axe sharpening, or axe grinding. Such as creating my environment, or like setting up tools but not using them. You know, it's like I do that a lot, and it's really a problem. It's a lot of programmers have this issue where they set up their workspace and stuff all the time. They call it like axe sharpening or axe grinding or whatever. Be strategic, and organized. Like, what is being organized? Like, how do I do it? Like, that's the kind of the issue. It's like, I literally have all these goals I want to do, and I don't know how to actually do it. Like, I've been an artist my whole entire life, like a musician or a writer, but then when it actually comes time to write, I like, my brain just like, it's just completely blank. And I don't really know, like, how artists do it. Like, they work all the time, but what do I work on? That's the issue. And yeah, like, what I usually end up doing, and if I go here, 3, no idea what I want to do, to make. So I want to create something, but have no idea. Have like only a loose idea.
A fear of the Lord.
I just end up feeling empty. Like, it's like you'll see artists and they have like these grand ideas in their head, and then they like make it happen and stuff like that. And I know I'm doing the terrible thing of comparing myself to others, but it's just like, you know, in order to be an artist, you have to actually make art. Like, like, come on, like what? I'm doing the one thing that an artist is supposed to. I'm not doing the one thing an artist is supposed to do. I'm doing all the business, like planning all the business side of it, planning all like the workflow part of it, but not actually using it. And it's like, why? And I guess I'm, you know, at least kind of trying to get a grapple on what it is that I'm doing wrong right now, but like come on, like when do I actually sit down and do the work? I've done it before. And usually what helps, you know, for example, for 3, you know, of no idea what I want to make. What I know works, at least from practice, is get started anyway. And just improvise. You know, like make it up as I go. Because, you know, that's how I make a first draft. Because that's how I finished my very first draft to a novel. I wrote like 140,000 words, I think. I don't really know exactly. It was across all mediums. Like it was the actual text document. It was all my notes about it. Like I wrote like 140,000 words or so. I wrote more of the novel than I did notes. So I think only like 10,000 or 20,000 words were notes. Make it up as I go. That's important. Slowly develop it, which I definitely have done that with Evenstar, and also the other 2 novels that are set on the same planet but at different times, different epochs. obviously I've been working on these novels since like 2013. The very first one that is like the origin of the entire, like basically it's the origin of the entire planet, and like the origin of the magic system, and it's not directly connected, but it's definitely connected. I've been working on that one since 2013, or at least thinking about it. And it's kind of like loosely based on like kind of a bunch of mythologies, mostly, honestly, mostly like Hebrew/Catholic mythology, as far as like, because the main character's name's Uriel and his brother's name is Ariel, and his father Raziel. They're all like those kind of like archetypes of, I guess, like archangels, but they're people. They're not like based on the exact like Hebrew mythology. It's not like a religious thing. It's just like it's based on the same. It's like loosely based on some ideas. Mostly just names, honestly. But like I'm trying to make it into like an epic. Like it's epic fantasy. It has like an origin story to the entire planets. Like all that kind of stuff. Over time, and keep trying. That's one thing I'm really good at, is I keep trying. I'm still trying, right? I'm still trying to write my novels, right? Like, and I've kind of gotten this one down because I kind of have like a time like in the late morning or afternoon, sometimes early morning. I just get right to it. And I've done that through my stream specifically. Like my stream has kind of been a space that I've created to like kind of get me used to working. I just feel so lost creatively, I know, like, to be fair, a lot of it is based on, like, I've just been really stressed the fuck out, Number two, the solution to being distracted. Possible solutions. Too fast or too hasty. And then 3 is what to make. Being distracted, I think that's just a matter of setting small, achievable goals. And that might even be like write for 5 minutes. And see, here's a problem: is I get distracted. I usually use boxes and then bullets. Like, I usually use boxes then circles. Examples are like write for 5 minutes about anything. Which I kind of do already, like on Twitter, but it's just like I want to be focused. deliberate. Be deliberate. And be consistent. One is to actually just finish setting up the environment. Like if I just like make it, a lot of the times I just like play into the distraction, like just finish it, like finish setting up the tools or environment. Just get it done, you know. Satisfy the need, you know, satisfy the need. And it'll be useful anyway. Yeah, and I'm trying to practice this part too. That I'm too quick. I'm too hasty. Like specifically, I'll finish a draft and just want to be done. Like I'll do that with my stream as well. Like right now, I need to constantly come back to this document. Like I'm not done. I'm not done just because I, you know, have like this isn't a homework assignment that's like due tomorrow. You know, like. This is something I need to continually come back to. And honestly, I really have been. That's kind of been what my stream has been the past couple of years. Like, I've already been doing this. Another goal is like TikToks. In YouTube. And then another one is music. You know, both original like composing, arranging, and performing, which can be either one of these ones, or performing can also be, you know, covers. Or just other work. That's one. For, you know, these are my three main goals. You know, writing blog articles and novels, stories, and just, you know, nonfiction. This is like the main thing I think will really help me in my career. I think writing is probably like the most consistent thing I've ever done. And I do it even when I'm not trying. And I think that's key. Music is another big one. This is kind of the challenging one that kind of brings them together. Like this one kind of brings the two together because TikTok and YouTube, this is just more of a medium, right? This is where I like host these kind of things. That's at least in video form. video and audio form. Because TikToks and YouTube, that's more of like it's like capturing my creative work. It's not really in and of itself like a thing that I'm doing. Like obviously the blog articles and stuff, and the music, they exist on their own. But then TikToks and YouTube can kind of like make it into, I don't know, like putting it into like video form. And also like in and of itself, like I could write for YouTube, right? Like I can write a script, which is another thing that I have a hard time with. Like another challenge that I have is writing and following a script, rather than always improvising. Because everything I do on stream is pretty much just me making it up as I go. And I guess that's a good way to rough draft things. And you know, for you know, for consistently finishing things. Use rough drafts to create a finished product. You know what's messed up is right now, even though I'm actively working on this thing, which I wasn't doing before, like I literally had a blank document before and I've literally come up with all this stuff, I still feel like I'm procrastinating. Like, I feel like this is useless. I have to actually practice this. Like, it's one thing to know what I need to do, but to actually do it is a different thing. Like, I keep doing this problem, this number 2. I'm getting distracted. So, I don't know, possible solutions to number 3. Keep trying. Now I need to get more specific. Specific projects. I think that's key, is I need to get very specific about what I want to do. And I do have like a mega document, like where I have this stuff. See, I never even finished this project I was gonna do about Andrew Tate and stuff. I was gonna write a whole article about misogyny and stuff. I never got around to it. I feel like the ship has sailed already because everybody kind of like finished that, I guess. Obviously, it's an evergreen topic of toxic masculinity and misogyny, so obviously it's not like it's over, unfortunately. This Making Sense of PTSD project. I wanted to watch a bunch of interviews, possibly read some books about PTSD and about specifically about like for this, you know, like stuff. Hey Ahmed. Like I specifically wanted to write a series of articles called Making Sense of PTSD, and I could make that into a YouTube series as well, obviously. Adapt it to a video series. So like for example, for fiction, I have books, you know, that I'm trying to write. You know, I got Even Star. I have Scourge. It's a working title. I don't know exactly what it's going to be called. And I have Inner Defense. I still don't know if that's the final name. Even Star is the one I've worked on the most. So I have, Even Star, the Scourge, and Inner Defense. And, Even Star is the one that's the most fleshed out. So I really want to finish the second draft to this. So write a single paragraph for a scene from my outline. First thing after my morning routine, and it's key that I stop after a single paragraph, and that I take a break, small break, and then repeat. Because that's how I got the draft. That's how I got the first draft. That's how I got the first draft finished. Is that, well, you know, a paragraph, you know, write a single burst For like 5 minutes. Reaction to Quran, 5 minutes. I haven't read the Quran, so I don't really know how to give it a reaction. Write a single verse, like 5 minutes. Because that's actually how I finished the first draft. That is how I finished the first draft, is I literally did single bursts, and then took a little break, and then I did it again. These are called writing sprints.
Welcome back to Citadel Station. We hope your somnolent healing stage went well. Today is the 6th day of November, 072. You are currently in the healing suites located on the first level. Level 2 contains the research laboratory. 3 houses the Department of Maintenance, and the storage cells are on level 4. The flight deck is on level 5. Level
So a writing sprint, our timed writing sessions usually 15 to 60 minutes. I would say 5 minutes if you're like just starting, because that's how I finished the first draft. I just do like 5 minute bursts, 5 minute sprints. Where writers try to achieve you don't have to achieve a specific word count or write as many words as possible. So it's like that's you can just do that. Just like writing sprints aim to maximize results in minimal time. There are many reasons why a writer might conduct a writing sprint. So necessity. Many writers do sprints out of necessity because their writing time is severely limited. Many writers have full-time jobs, families, and other responsibilities that shrink writing time down to a few hours or a few minutes per day. The thing is even if you have like nothing else to do, like I literally have nothing else to do except my medical stuff. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do to react to the Quran, like... I don't know how to read Arabic. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate and most merciful, all praise is for Allah, Lord of the worlds. See, you know what I don't like about this? Is that literally the whole Quran, I don't mean any, like, offense or anything, but, like, the whole idea is that just you have, like, completely, like, you just have complete, worship of something without even understanding what it is, and I don't really like that. Like, why should I praise Allah? Like, why? Like, just because it says? Like, I don't understand. You know, like, you know, it's saying that it's the master day of like, where is the evidence of this? Like, you alone we worship, and you alone, like, why? Guide us along the straight path. What is the straight path? The paths of those who have blessed, not those who are displeased with, of those who are astray. This is the book, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, exactly, there is a doubt about it. Like, I'm doubting it. Like, come on. You know, and nothing against people who practice religion. I understand there's, like, a purpose to it, that it gives you purpose and stuff. But honestly, I'm like, why should I, like, release my entire identity and my entire being to some, like, to some figure that was written in a book? Like, I don't understand. So achieve goals. Writing sprints work wonderfully for quickly catching up to or reaching word count goals. Some writers aim to write a specific number of words per day, like 3,000. And in fact, like, I think like 1,600 words a day, even less, is like a lot more sustainable and achievable. I think I made my opinion clear about religions in general. So sorry, I'm not going to react to the religious text. I do not believe in religion. I don't think it's a very meaningful way to live your life. It might be for some people, and more power to them. But I do not live my life that way. I live in reality, and I live in things that are very achievable. I don't live in like complete worship of something that I don't know and understand, because the very definition of God, which is Allah, the very definition of God is that you can't understand it. And so to read a book telling you what it is already failing. I feel like if you truly want to understand God, you have to look inwardly, and you have to live your life based in reality. You can't just like say, oh, I worship God. Well, why do you worship God? Oh, because a book told me to. Like that sounds like a cop-out to me. That sounds like you're not, ironically, it sounds like you're not truly taking God seriously. Like you're just gonna blindly worship something because a book told you to. I already told you no. I'm not gonna read the Quran or the Bible or any kind of religious text. I don't care what religion it is. And if it's something I don't believe in, I'm not gonna watch it. Like, I think it's a waste of my time. Some writers aim to write a specific number of words per day. The speed of writing sprints helps them reach these goals at a rapid pace. Writing sprints with their focus on high-intensity pace and word count over quality can be just the Kickstarter a writer needs to shatter writer's block. And the thing is you get quality through quantity. A lot of people have this idea that you have to focus on quality, but you can't get quality if you haven't even tried. Like, there's that allegory or whatever of, I don't know what it's called, that little story of like the shop class or whatever, or the sculpting class, where there was like a group, like they, the teacher split the class in half, and half the class was told to make the best, like a single vase. Hey, thank you, Sardano. Was a single vase as best as they could by the end of the month, and the other one had to make 100 vases by the end of the month. And the ones with the best quality, ironically, and maybe not ironically, even though the first group was tasked with making the best quality, the group with the 100 vases ended up making better quality. Yeah, I got Cardano. It's been quite a time we've been here. Yeah, I still unfortunately am living in the trailer park. Yeah, sorry. I don't believe that you would have given me $50. Like, show me the money first. Like, if you're gonna give me money, don't just promise money. You're a random viewer. I have no idea if you have that money. I'm not going to just have my stream dictated by random viewers. Whether it's religious or not. I have a very specific qualm against religion, because I think religion hurts people. Not specifically because of the text, but because of the people who use that text in order to justify hatred towards women, towards LGBT, and towards other minorities. And so I have a very specific, yeah, of course it's a bot. I don't know. But yeah, I have no problem with religion, with like spirituality. I'm very spiritual, and I think religious texts can be a good start, but I feel like historically religious texts have been used to justify people's hatred. And we're seeing it today all the time. And I don't think blindly following some god is the answer. Just because a book tells you to follow God. Like, where is the evidence that I should follow it? The only evidence I've seen is that people who claim to follow these texts, which they don't, they claim to, but they don't. If they truly followed the religious text, they would not be killing gay people. They would not be, I don't know. You have to match the true meaning of a text and not the literal meaning. And also, I don't know, I just feel like some religious texts, like, literally have outdated, because they're written by humans, and humans need to get their shit together and not just base their entire belief system on a like multiple 1,000-year text, you know, where, you know, where people were living in a time where they could literally kill their wives. So yeah. And the same with Christianity. The same with basically any dogmatic religion. I don't think it's very useful, and especially with Christianity, people claim to follow Christ, and yet they do the exact opposite of what Christ taught. You know. I don't like that song. It has that weird, like, that weird shouting. I don't want to hear. Yeah, so like a lot of the problem, like, you know, like half the group was told to make you know, a single vase as the best they could, and the other half was told to make 100. And you get quality through quantity because you figure out your mistakes, you figure out how to make it better. Maximize time. Then again, a writer may simply want to maximize their time and the results. See, the thing is if you have like a huge open-ended group of time, like if you say, oh, I have 4 hours to write, and you kind of just like meander, like you kind of just like, you don't really use your time effectively. And when I was writing for NaNoWriMo in 2014, I finally was able to finish it after a couple of years attempting it. I did it by just doing writing sprints, and then I would focus for a very small amount of time and then do as much writing as I can, improvised, which gave me a decent first draft. That gave me a huge idea of what the characters were. And I've learned how the characters are, and now I can put that into my second draft. But I need to do the second draft the same way. And it's like I'm basically getting quality through quantity. I already did the quantity, and now I have to do the second iteration of it. And then maybe I can do a third iteration. Or maybe this second draft, I'll just I'll take it and I'll use that as a way to edit it, you know, and work with it, and have to rewrite entire scenes, but, you know, like at least not have to start from scratch, because I feel like after my first draft, if my second draft has to start completely from scratch. And I already started a few scenes. I already wrote a few scenes, and this time I'm outlining it because I have a better idea of what the book is going to be. Writing sprints create a sense of urgency that can electrify writing. Perhaps a writer wants to finish a chapter of their novel, blog post, or some other personal project. Write faster. The faster you write, the quicker you finish projects that you can submit to traditional publishing companies, self-publish, and or market to readers. Writing pace is a habit that can be improved by practice. And here's the thing, is a lot of people will complain about this kind of thing, but honestly, as long as you're putting in the effort into your editing process, you actually want to write faster. Because a lot of people, they'll spend, you know, it's been taking me years. Like it's been 8 years since I've started my first draft, and eventually finished my first draft. And then this year, basically since I finished my first draft, it's been like 3 or 4 years. And so it's like, I mean, 3 or 4 years, since it's been like I would say like 4 years or so since I like stopped working on my first draft. And then I started working on the second draft at the beginning of this year. And the thing is like, if you don't like organize your time and finish it, it's just going to be left on the shelf. It's never going to be finished. So you kind of have to organize your time and try to write it fast. You know, a lot of a lot of my writing tips I've learned from Brandon Sanderson. He's a very successful writer, and he's kind of he's really good at writing, like finishing novels. You know, basically him and many other writers, especially if you're writing like big, like kind of bigger projects like fantasy or you know, bigger sci-fi projects, generally you should be aiming for like a novel a year. Possibly 2. If you can't finish a novel a year, you can't really, I mean, obviously if you just want to write as a hobby, that's different. You know, it's perfectly fine to write as a hobby. Like, you know, some people play basketball as a hobby. Not everybody's going to join the NBA. Not everybody wants to be a novelist professionally, and not everybody can. But you know, I think if there's this pressure on people that everything has to be monetized. And I think it's fine if you want to make it a career. I do want to finish my novels and sell my novels as part of my career. But you can't do that if you don't write fast enough. And so it takes practice. And doing the writing sprints is like you're continually practicing how to write in a very focused, deliberate manner. Participate in writing events like NaNoWriMo. That's how I learned my writing habits, but I need to continually come back to them and work on them, and solidify them, because I did it once, but you know, like I need to do it on a consistent basis. And NaNoWriMo is like literally, if you take it literally, it's about writing a 50,000 word novel, which is like a novelette in a month. But if you don't, I don't think you have to take it literally. I think it's an event that is used to train your writing habits so that you don't just do it in a month, that you continue writing after the event's over. And it's supposed to be sustainable. So if you do it too much, if you write too much, I don't know if you can sustain it. You have to have realistic goals. Some people will say 300 words a day. Like if you can write 300 good words a day, or I think Ernest Hemingway even said like 50 good words a day. Like spend, you know, your entire work session the day on making the best 50 words you can. And I don't know. So everybody has a different approach. Every November during National Novel Writing Month, hundreds of thousands of writers around the world come together to crank out 50,000 words of a new novel in 30 days. And that's how I created the first half of my rough draft. Writing sprints can help writers reach these ambitious goals, just for fun. We writers absolutely love writing and take any chance we get to inject a little playful competition, run to fun into our craft. See, I don't like treating it like a competition. I don't see NaNoWriMo as like a competition. I think I'm just trying to do my best. And I like writing, but like I forget that sometimes. And I also like finishing something. It's really important to me. But honestly, it is a lot of difficult work. And you know, the way you know you love something is that if you do it even when you hate it. Because you're not gonna love doing something all the time. And you know, that's unrealistic. Kickstarter our morning writing session and gosh darn it, have a little fun. Writing a fast-paced scene or story segment. Some scenes and stories are designed as slow burns, moments of respite for our characters or intermissions between climatic peaks of action. Other scenes deliver an immediate lightning-quick pace to drag readers down the page with high-intensity drama, action, and suspense. Writing sprints can help infuse these scenes with an organic flurry of motion. Pros and cons of writing sprints. Pros: shut down the editor function in your brain, write more words, increase writing speed, reach word count goals, reach goals for number of pages written. Quality is then sacrifice quantity. That doesn't really matter though. Is that you can't work with something if you don't have anything to work with. And people keep thinking that you need to have the best quality writing. You're not going to have any quality writing if you don't write at all. More editing is often needed, but that's not a problem. Your editing is going to be the most important stage anyway, and you should spend a good amount of time on it. In fact, more time than you do writing. Writing quickly is often harder than it seems. How do you do a writing sprint? Start by deciding whether you want to do a writing sprint alone or as part of it. I don't like doing it in groups. I don't like the way people kind of make it into a competition. I don't really like that. Solo sprints are more flexible because you only have yourself to think about, but tandem sprints or group sprints can be incredibly motivating and fun. Select a writing goal. Usually set word count or number of pages if you want to complete. Usually the number is between 1,000 and 5,000. Yeah, 5,000, I think that's too much. In the final week of NaNoWriMo, I was able to finish it by writing 8,000 words a day. That was way too much. At that point, I was just basically typing words. Like, you want to do like 1,000 words a day, I think. That's reasonable. Next, use a time limit between 15 and 60 minutes. I think 5 minutes is the best you can do. You write like a few paragraphs, and then you come back to it and you iterate it over time. Like, you do 5 minutes and then you take a break, and then you do 5 minutes and then you take a break. I think that's the best way to do it, for me. Obviously, make sure the time limit is reasonable for the goal, and also like the goal itself kind of like restricts you too much. I think it puts too much pressure. Like, I should just write as much as I can. If possible, remove all distractions. Choose a quiet place to conduct your sprints so you won't be disturbed or interrupted by noise or other people. I actually like putting the instrumental music, like kind of the music that I'm playing right now, but also like I'll listen to like epic music, which I can't do on stream. And obviously, this is all stuff I do off stream. I don't usually make creative work on stream. It doesn't usually end up very well, because I'm like interacting with chat sometimes, and like I don't know. I think it's just like some things I just do better with closed door. And writing, I feel like, is one of those things where you don't really. I can organize and plan my writing on stream, but then when I actually get to the writing, I need to do that off stream. Some writers thrive off of ambient coffee shop sounds or music, and I do have like a little bag where I have like portable writing tools. Like I have like a little keyboard that can connect to my tablet, for example, and then I can write into a Google Doc, or an email to myself, and or my phone, into an email. And I also have some handwriting stuff, like little notebooks that I can write in by hand. Sometimes I prefer writing by hand. Sometimes I prefer writing, by typing it out. I don't think I really like writing by talking because I get so distracted. That's why it's kind of like streaming, I don't usually like I don't usually like writing by dictation. I usually don't like that at all. Because I write better when I'm focused on typing and stuff, or handwriting. I also have a typewriter. I don't usually use that too often. But I did get a bunch more paper. Prepare your writing tools, gather your pencils, pens, paper, timer, laptop, writing software. Some people really like using really robust software. I don't like doing that at all. I kind of have my own custom group of tools that I use. Because in the end of the day, Ernest Hemingway worked on a handwriting desk, a standing desk. He had a standing desk. Okay, and obviously for publishing, you need to put it into a document, but you just transcribe it. Like you type it in later, and that to edit it. Like, if you're actually doing the writing, it doesn't necessarily matter how you do it. Because, people are like, oh, you can't submit a handwritten document. It's like, no, obviously you're not going to be submitting a handwritten document. You can write on a freaking napkin if you want. Like you're going to produce the writing and then go back in and type it in later. And that's part of the editing process, It's a good idea to have backup writing tools and to ensure that your computer is fully charged, the charging cable available in case you need it. Also, you should back up all your documents to the cloud, which is what I do. But also, I don't just keep a single file. What I'll do is every day that I work on something, like I forgot to do this for this. Every day that I work on something, I save as, and I make a new iteration of the document. So today's August 30th, on a Tuesday, and it's 14/12. And I forgot, I didn't name this correctly either. It's a Tuesday. So I'll listen to like epic music, which I can't play on stream because of copyright. But I'll listen to music like this too, like, you know, video game music and remixes, more instrumental stuff. It helps me just keep typing. So I'll listen to epic music specifically. It makes me think of like a movie trailer. Makes me think of the finished product. Like I imagine it like it's a movie. And I have a system for handwritten stuff and for typewritten, you know, typewritten stuff. As soon as I'm done with the session, I'll date each page and put a number on it, and I'll put it in a folder with a like red circle on it, and that's like my to be transcribed. It's, you know, red circle means it hasn't been transcribed yet. And when I go in to transcribe things at a later time, I'll then put like a blue check mark on each page that I've transcribed, and I'll order the pages in the newest page first, so that I know how many pages I wrote that day, and I organize it by day. So it's like, what I'll do is if I wrote 15 pages, then number 15 will be on top, and it'll go in descending order or whatever. I mean, I guess ascending order. Because if I put the first one on top, then I have to guess how many I wrote that day, and I have to go through it to get to the next one or whatever. But if I put the 15th one on top, then I know that the last page is number 15. So it really helps with like having my folder that way. If you're using a timing device like an egg timer, get that ready. Yeah, and I do have a timer, an actual physical timer with a bell on it. I don't know where I put it. But usually I'll just use like a computer timer. Make a writing plan. That's kind of what we're doing right now a little bit. Either a prompt or series of what I've been doing is I've been outlining my novel. Either have a prompt or series of prompts ready, or create an outline for the scene, chapter, or sequence you want to write. A little bit of pre-planning can make all the difference in your pace during a sprint. So now I know, like, I outline like the scenes I want to write, and then I go in and write them. And that's like the difference between the first and second draft. Like the second draft, I'm actually like have scenes that I'm like outlining first, and then I can just go in and peck away at it, you know, or chip away at it. Choose a time of day when you know that you'll have high energy. So usually the first thing in the morning, and after I've watched like my usual morning like YouTube browsing and, you know, looking at the news and stuff. One author was who's written like a large amount, like I think like 100 different books or whatever. He was talking about how he does all of his stuff that are gonna distract him out of the way first before he has his writing sessions. Some writers write best in the mornings, others do better at night. I suck at night because by nighttime I'm ready to like kind of slow down, and I've just used all my creative energy already for the day. So I think first thing in the morning is like usually the best for me. If you have a choice, pick the optimum time for your sprinting. If you want extra accountability, start your writing sprint by starting a 30-minute writing sprint on your social media sites. I don't like doing that. I already spam my Twitter enough. Before you start, double check one last time that you have everything you need to do your writing sprint. Preparation is critical to a successful sprint. Once you're ready, start your timer. As soon as you start the timer, start writing and don't stop until the timer stops. So I'm really good at this. But my problem is actually getting myself to start to actually plan in the first place. And I'm trying to fix that now by organizing right now. Don't pause to consider word choice. Don't stop for a sip of water. That can wait. I think you should drink water if you're thirsty. Don't drink wine. You know, the people say, oh, you know, drink while writing. That's stupid. You should not drink while you're writing. Like, that's terrible. It's gonna ruin your process entirely. You need to be focused. Don't think about what to do next. Like even Ernest Hemingway, he was like a very you know, obviously he ended his life at some point. And you know, that is what it is. But honestly, like he didn't write drunk. You know, he drank a lot. but that was after he wrote. You know, he just, that was, that's part of his lifestyle that was probably not the healthiest. And, usually drugs and alcohol detract from artists, contrary to what a lot of people want to believe. They think it inspires them, and it might. Like, I know that, hallucinogenics and stuff have been used to treat depression and stuff, but that's usually in a very specific environment. Like, traditionally, you've had like a shaman, or like and nowadays you have like a therapist that gets you through that. That's a different kind of thing. I do feel like, drugs and stuff can open up some ideas, but I really think in the end of the day, especially drug addictions, they detract from an artist. I don't think it's ever truly helped somebody. I think it's only made everything worse. Don't think about what to do next. Hopefully you planned it out earlier. So just implement your plan. It doesn't matter what you write as much as that you keep your fingers or hands moving and words going down on the page or screen. See, it's like people talk about this all the time. I think it does matter what you write. Because people constantly say this, go edit it later, just write whatever. And it's like, I hear a lot of amateur writers saying that, and I don't see these people actually writing good novels. Like, I've seen excerpts of these, to be fair, they did finish, but I feel like they didn't finish something good. Like, they finish it, and then, I start reading it, and it's just boring. And I kind of have a proof of concept. I don't want to say, my writing is the greatest or whatever. I still have a lot of work to do. But even my first draft that was all over the place, and I made up as I go, everybody that I gave it to said they would want to read a finished version of it. So it's like, if you have a novel that you wrote and put on Amazon, you should probably have people read it before you post it, before you publish it. Just because you can self-publish doesn't mean you should, just because you finished it, because it might be trash. Okay, so it's like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of these people's writing who just say, just write. Don't care about your write. You should care about what you write. You should plan your outline. You should understand, at least somewhat, even a few bullet points over what you're trying to achieve. Don't just start writing and write about every single random thing that comes to your head. That's kind of how I ended up with the trash of a first draft that I had in the first place. But even that, I kind of had ideas in my head over what I wanted to write. I didn't just write whatever the hell came to mind. And, that might be useful as an exercise, but if you actually want to finish a project, you kind of have to have at least some bullet points. Even if it's I want this character to go across, to get a drink of water or whatever. And you don't even know, what's going to happen in between, but at least you know that, they're going to walk, at least one part of what's going to happen. Maybe while they're trying to go across the room to get water, they bump into, their ex or something. I don't know. That might be part of it. You don't know until you start writing, but at least you know, hey, I want to write a scene, and I don't know what's going to happen in the scene, but I'm going to write a scene where my character, or a character, whether it's the main character, but the current point of view character, walks across a room to pour a glass of water. And you could write whatever the hell comes to mind during that, but at least you stayed true to that solid bullet point, that character will, at some point in that scene, pour a glass of water. And achieve that bullet point goal, No matter what happens, anything can happen. They could be abducted by aliens, and it could become an entire novel. But by the end of the novel, they pour that glass of water. You know what I mean? You can always edit your writing later, but as the famous quote goes, you can't edit a blank page. And this is true. But honestly, I feel like if you're gonna I have to throw basically my entire first draft out. And I have to rewrite from the ground up. And so it's it was very useful for coming up with my characters, and I did a lot of work. I don't want to say it's bad to write whatever the hell comes to mind, but at least I had some bullet points, But now I have more specific bullet points in the second draft. And probably as I go, it gets better and better. You basically have to keep refining it. And total free writes are useful too, as an exercise. But if you what I want to do is I want to do less. I want to do a lot more focused goals of actually creating something that can be used. I don't want to just have all these lofty, like kind of up in the air kind of goals, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, I want to write, you know, for you know, a certain, like an hour a day or whatever. You know, I want to write for 20 minutes a day or whatever, you know, but like write what? Like I want to write a specific thing. And I think I want to start literally, I've already made this promise to myself and I kind of failed, but I guess you can never fail as long as you keep coming back to it, is I want to literally finish writing articles for my website, for my blog. Like I actually want to come up with ideas that are achievable, that I can write a single article at a time for and just focus only on one article at a time. But I don't know necessarily what to write about. I have these really kind of lofty projects, but I want to write, like, I want to get narrowed down to very specific things. But even me just saying it is not specific enough. Like, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to try. Stop only when the timer goes off. And so yeah, that's something I had to practice. It's really easy to do once you get to it. Then celebrate your successful sprint and motivate others by posting your. I don't like doing that. Like I seriously don't like using my social media for that. And record your sprinting session to track your progress. I don't really find that very useful. I do record it. I'll put it in the document. Like I'll put like a little bracket. What I'll do is each sprint I'll make like a curly bracket. I'll make 2 of them and then write everything in between those 2. And at the end of it I'll write the word count. And that's how I keep track of it. I don't want to use an Excel or Google spreadsheet. Like that's ridiculous. I mean I could. I mean I'll try. It might be useful. I'll give it a try. Best tips for... I mean, I guess like the way I do it already, I could just put those numbers into a spreadsheet. Like after the fact. Like add them all up for the day. Best tips for successful writing sprints. Be prepared. I thought we already read all this. It's exactly what we just read. Be prepared. Nothing slows down a writing sprint more than realizing at the last moment that you don't have the materials you need. Plan your writing. If you spend time during your sprint planning what to write, you are wasting valuable time that you could be writing more words down on paper or the screen. Making a plan can sometimes double or triple your writing speed. Focus on movement. Writing sprints are all about quantity over quality. Whatever you do, don't stop writing until the timer goes off. Write to questions or prompts. This is a hack of experienced sprinters. It's usually much easier to write answers to questions or in response to prompts than to come up with what to say next. Record and track your writing sprints. Easily use an Excel or Google spreadsheet to record your word count and track your progress over time. If you want to use a super easy done for you spreadsheet, you can use this tool. What you measure, achieve, and improve. Find a sprinting buddy. Just like with running, sprinting is easier with friends. Accountability can mean the difference between consistent and successful writing sprints and failure to improve writing speed or meet word count goals. When to do a writing sprint? When you have a writer's block. When you only have a limited amount of time to write, like a 15 to 16 minute lunch break. When you are participating in NaNoWriMo. When you want to increase your writing speed. When you want to reach a specific word count goal by a specific time. When you want to break out of editing mode. Yeah, I mean, I just do it into a document. Yeah, I don't like using... I mean, I could use the whole hashtag thing, but... Because then I have to be held accountable, and I already know from my work habits, I actually do worse when I set, like, a hard limit. When I set a hard goal. Because then I'll just not do it. and I do a lot better if I just say, hey, I'm gonna write for 5 minutes. I do a lot better when I say after the fact that I've done it, rather than wait and like say, oh, I'm gonna write for 20 minutes today, and then I never end up writing, and then I feel like shit, you know? I don't need their ultimate tools. I really think that all these tools are stupid, at least for me. I think all you need is like a pen and paper, like LibreOffice or you know, Microsoft Word or whatever. Like, all you need is something to write in. You do not need all these like Scriveners. Yeah, you don't need these expensive tools like Scriveners, like freaking, like, I guess it helps some people. You don't need this shit. Like, it's like, you shouldn't have, you all you need is like somewhere to enter text. And you know, this gives you all these organization tools. There's a whole bunch of free tools you can use. It's called like a notebook. Like, it's called a pen and paper. Like, you don't need to buy this shit unless it helps. I mean, if it helps you, then I don't know. But like, I don't think it helps. It makes things a lot more difficult for me to have too many tools. Like, I already have my own tools. Like, I do stuff like this, you know? Like, I've already like done a lot more. You know, it's about doing the work, not about how you do the work. Like, you just have to sit down and do it. So, I need to make sure to have a solid outline. Plan out each scene. With concrete bullet points. It doesn't have to be one-to-one of the outline, but try to adhere to it. Set aside time to go over outline and add additional scenes. Characters. Yeah, I gotta write out what each character is trying to achieve, because that's important. Characters are people. And don't need to do an arrow. Characters are people. People try to find meaning. Their actions reflect their search for meaning. Am I actually gonna be able to write my novel? Or am I just gonna talk about it and never come back to it? I'm gonna try, okay? Like, this isn't gonna be the only day I do this. Because I have this habit of making myself feel like I got a lot done and then never actually going back to do it. And I'm gonna try to do this off stream. I'm gonna try to come back every day and work on my outline. Because I can't get into specifics here. I don't want to leak my novel. I really don't. At least not to the general public. I have a very select group of people I trust with helping me, like, by being beta readers, and I don't really trust. I really don't think I need much else. I think it's better to have a group of people that you trust to give you high quality feedback than just to, like, put it out there into the universe for anybody to look at, especially since I'm trying to publish it. And it's like, I don't want to, like, spoil my entire novel. I've already kind of spoiled it a little bit, although the final version is nothing like the first draft. I've already kind of, like, sent out the first draft. I don't think most people have, only a few people have read it, and they probably forgot about it. I don't think I have the energy to make some TikToks today. I think I kind of got myself started on some stuff. I'm going to spend today going through that stuff and doing what I was just doing, but I need to do it off stream. It's really important that I do that. And I don't have to do everything today. I think even just what I did right now is a solid chunk of work that I've done, because it got me started on what I need to do. And I feel like I need to just slowly come back to it and make little bite-sized achievements of just trying to get things done. And I have like a single document for for my separate projects, which I already have. And I need to actually sit down and try to make it happen. I need to do some actual writing too. And so I'm going to have to set aside time to do those writing sprints. But I need those projects first, and I need bullet points first. And then I can go in and write. It's just, honestly, I have a really hard time figuring out what to write articles about. Even though I talk about a lot of stuff on stream, and I talk about a lot of stuff on Discord or Twitter, and I could just basically just be focusing those things that I talk about and making them into articles, but I have such a hard time figuring out how to make that happen. And I'm gonna keep trying, okay? Anyway, bye-bye.